to my channel. This is Carrie at What Would Carrie Craft. Today we are going to be doing a planner setup for the week of Monday, February 22nd through Sunday, February 28th. And I am going to be recreating this planner spread from the beginning of January. I had several people that asked, how do you make these boxes? I really like this layout. And it is really simple. All it is mild liner and pen. And that's it. There is no stickers on here, no nothing other than mild liners and pen. I do have a little washi at the top, but that's it. So let's go ahead and jump into getting started with the spread. The first thing that you need to do is decide on your color scheme. So I went ahead and pulled out a little bit of washi from my collection. It's a skinny washi, and most likely I'm going to be adding this washi to the top or the bottom or both. I haven't really decided yet. But then what I did was I went through my collection of mile liners and I pulled out the 3 colors. I also tried a Sharpie S-Note. I think that's what it is. Yes, Sharpie S-Note. And I didn't really, it kind of shadows a little bit. I'm worried about it bleeding through. So I'm going to go ahead and just stick with these 3 colors, I think. These top 3, even though that pink doesn't match perfectly. The Sharpie matches a little better. I don't know. I might end up using that color. We'll see. We'll see what happens when it's time to plan. But first thing is deciding those colors that you're going to use, your color scheme, because that will be helpful as you're making your boxes. Then some other supplies that you're going to need is some type of ruler. It doesn't have to be a 12-inch ruler. It can be a 6-inch ruler because you're really only dealing with about 4 or 5 inches of space. So any size ruler will really do. This is just the one that I have on hand and it's easiest, and you can see the numbers better on this one. You'll also need a pen. I'm using my Pentel Energel Clena that I always use in black this week. You'll need a pencil. Any pencil will do. I use the Papermate Sharp Writer #2. For me, this is my favorite pencil that I use. You'll need some type of clean eraser of sorts. And then some other supplies. If you're like me, you might need some whiteout because mistakes happen. And then the other tool that I've been using a lot lately is this Dear Lily Designs stencil that allows me to make my check boxes. It's a 6mm 117 variable, and it makes perfect check boxes in the lines that match the Boxy Life. I'll go ahead and include a link to this down in the description box below. All of these planner tools and supplies that I use are also linked in my Amazon storefront, which I'll also link down below. So anywho, let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing we need to do is decide on start to create our boxes. So I'm going to be using basically my pencil and my ruler first. And I'm going to be basically, we're going to be making a larger box for our tasks and then a smaller box for our events. So I have gone ahead and I have listed out on sticky notes kind of my events for next week. There's not a whole lot going on. So there's just not a whole lot of boxes that I'm going to be drawing, but we'll be able to kind of play with that. And then what you'll need to do is decide, are your boxes going to lay on top or are they going to kind of look underneath? What I have done is typically any events that are later in the day, I will put those boxes lay on top because that way my task check boxes are like higher in the box and they don't interfere with it. So you'll be able to see that in a few minutes. And I have some stray pencil marks already on my planner. So I'm going to go ahead and start over here on the left side. And I am going to start by drawing my first box. Now, when I did these way back here, let's go back. When I did these boxes, you'll notice that my task up at the top was one full line and then a little bit of extra. So it was like 1.5 at the top. So what I'm going to do is, if my word tasks is going to be right here, and I'm going to write this really small just for us to understand. So I'm going to be writing the word tasks here. My box is actually going to go up like to about here. All right. And then I need to decide how wide my boxes are going to go. Typically, when I have made my boxes in the past, I have started my box at about 2 inches from the edge of these lines. So that would be right about here. But I think I'm going to make my box a little bit bigger this week to really accentuate that overlap under over. So I think what I'm going to do this week is I'm going to start my box actually at the 1.5 mark. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come and I'm going to actually do this from the bottom first. So I'm going to go ahead and put my ruler down. I'm going to line it up here with the lines on the left. And then let's see if I can zoom in a little bit for this. Here we go. And then I'm going to mark in my planner basically on this bottom line that 1.5 mark. And then I'm going to come up and I'm going to do the same thing on this line and then a little bit above that line. Okay? And then that is kind of my points for the side. And then I'm going to basically come over here on the left and I'm going to bring my line in just a little bit from this edge here. So I'm going to put my ruler on the edges of these lines. And let's see, I'm going to go ahead and put it at the 5 and I'm just going to bring it in just 1/8 of an inch. And there's that. And then I use my bottom line for my gratitude. So we'll go right here. All right. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw my box. Now I could draw it with my pencil first. You can always do that if you are not sure. But what I'm going to do is, because I don't have any events going on Monday that I'm aware of. Yeah, I don't think I have anything on Monday. So because I don't have any events on Monday, I'm basically just going to draw my box. So I'm going to start by taking my ruler and lining it up with my pencil marks. And I'm going to go ahead and connect the top and the bottom pencil mark on that side. And then I'm going to do the same thing over on this side. And then I'm going to turn my planner and I'm going to connect. All right, and there's my first box. Now I'm going to go ahead and use my eraser to erase this word tasks there. Just to get it out of the way. All right, so I can go back later on. I'm going to let my ink sit before I start to try and erase over the corners. But I'm going to go ahead and start to, I need to make a decision here about this pink. I still think that's too dark. I think it's too dark. I'm not going with it. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to now pick my color that I'm going to make my taskbar and around the inside of the box. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to outline the box on the inside with my color that I'm using. And I'm using a mild liner, lemon yellow. So I'm going to use the bullet point end. And I'm basically going to just draw a box right on the inside. I'm going to hug that black. And what's great about the Pentel Energel Clenna is the ink dries super fast. So usually, even if you like write pretty much right away, it will not smear. And you can pretty much like write right on top of it, even with a light colored highlighter. All right, oops. And you'll see, I got a little excited there. All right. So there's that, and you'll notice on the end I have a little bit of residue, so I'm going to go ahead and just get that off. There you go. Now it's nice and clean. And then I'm going to use my chisel tip to finish the top. And I'm just going to basically fill in this, and I might go back with my bullet and just get that edge right there on that line. Now, if you want to, you could even draw with a pen across there as well. Now, the last thing that I also will do is you can label your top box with the word tasks or to-dos or whatever. This week, I'm going to definitely print mine. So I'm going to write, because I feel like the yellow and the blue and the pink is really kind of playful. So I'm gonna go ahead and just write tasks like that. And next thing, the last thing that I didn't talk about was the drop shadow. Also a favorite. So I have this gray, and what you're gonna do is when you do the drop shadow, you're gonna do it on two sides, and you want to think about it like, where is the shadow coming? So if your light is pointing from this direction, you're going to have a shadow here. If your light is pointing from this direction, you're going to have a shadow there. So depending upon where you want to have that light kind of coming in at, that is going to determine where that shadow is going to go. Now, I always, for whatever reason, I don't know why, I can't explain it, I like to do my drop shadow over here on this side. So I will hug the outer edge now on both this side and the bottom. And there we go. Our first box is done. So now what we're gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and do the next box. Now this day I have a bunch of events. So my event box is gonna be over here on the side, and I'm gonna have all these events listed. But these events are actually gonna sit most likely going underneath my task box. Or I might even make my task box a little smaller. We'll have to see, because I'm gonna basically do these events first over here, and then I'm gonna draw a box around them. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna place, no, I'm not gonna place my ruler. I'm gonna have to eyeball this. So I have 4 things going on. It's a busy evening. All right, so I have my, all right, there are my 4 meetings for this day. Now, what I'm gonna do is now I'm gonna go ahead and draw my box here for my tasks again, just like I did there. And then I'm gonna draw this box around it, and then you'll see how this kind of comes together. So again, I'm gonna do my ruler, and let's go ahead. I'm gonna measure in. Go. And then now I have this box over here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually make this box look like it's underneath. So I am going to go ahead and I am going to do my dots. Let's see. I'm going to go out to the outer edge here. And then this is going to actually go below. So I am going to, it's gonna be a little bit below that. So it's actually gonna look like it's kind of sitting underneath it. All right. This is where it's gonna get a little tricky. All right, so I double checked back here to see what I did. Yeah, I did outline those as well. So then on these ones, I'm gonna go ahead and use, this is the blue-green mild liner. This is one of my favorites. I'm gonna go ahead and use again, the bullet point to outline right on the inside of my boxes. All right, so now I have those, and I did not put any here because this edge of this box is actually over here. So that is where that is gonna be found. Okay, so now I need to do the top, across the top with my chisel. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and use my pen. Okay, and then I'm going to do my drop shadow. Now, for my drop shadow on this one, remember we were doing the side and the bottom. So for this, I'm actually going to do the side just right here, down to that point. And then I'm going to do the side over here. And then I'm gonna go across the bottom here. and then I'm going to pick it up there. And that's going to make it look like this box is underneath that box. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and draw the next 2 task boxes. They're not going to have, there's no events really on either of these 2 days because here I have a day off. So it's not really like an event that I'm going to actually draw the box around, at least not right now. So I'm going to go ahead and draw these next 2 task boxes here and here. And then I will pick up and talk about the next one over on Friday in just a minute. So I'm going to go ahead and probably speed through this. And you can just sit back and enjoy. All right, and the one last thing that I am going to do on this before I switch over is I'm going to go ahead and use my stencil to draw my task boxes. And I typically do 4 to start off my week. All right. Now I'm ready to go ahead and flip over. I've got this half ready to go, ready to start filling out the rest of my events. And then I'm going to go over here. Now I have one event here for ballet listed. Let's see if I can use this eraser. No, I don't know what that is there. I have one event on this day. Now I went over here, I had this box kind of going under. So what I'm going to do is, because this box is one event and it's later in the day, I'm going to have this box sit on top. And then I'm just going to draw 2 more task boxes just like kind of over here by themselves in Saturday and Sunday for right now. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and flip this over. I'm going to draw my boxes. Just got a low power warning, so hopefully I have enough power to get through this. So I've gone ahead and drawn those. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to write down my event. So I'm going to go ahead and come in a little bit on this. Go. I'm going to go ahead and write my event down because ballet is later in the evening. I'm going to go ahead and put it right here. Okay. Now, all right. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put some dots right here and right there, and then I'm going to decide how big. Now remember, my other box is starts at about 1.5 inches. So I think I'm going to bring it into here, about 1 3/4. So about there. And then I'm going to go ahead and draw this box first because this box is going to be the one on top. All right, so there's that box. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to draw my other box. But when I draw this line down here, I'm going to stop at this line and then pick back up underneath. So I'm still going to connect my dots, but I'm going to just bring it down to this and stop and then pick it back up right underneath. So there's that. And now I'm gonna go ahead and do my mile liner. So again, I'm gonna do my mile liner right on the inside. And I'm not going to do it right here because I know that this one is going to have a shadow that's going to kind of go across. So I'm going to leave that out there. Okay, and then I need to do my drop shadow. So I'm going to go ahead and do this one first. So I'm going to come down the side and across the bottom, and I'm going to go all the way across, and then I'm going to come down the side here, stop, come down the side there, and go across. And there we go. Now it looks like it is laying on top. So I'm going to go ahead and do my other 2 taskbars, and then I'm going to go ahead and do my check boxes. All right, and there you have it. My boxes are done, and my week is ready for me to start putting in all of my tasks and my to-dos and any other random events that come up throughout the course of the week. And I usually do my planning on Monday nights, sometimes on Sundays, but my week is prepped and ready to go, and real time it is 35 minutes since the start of this recording. So you can kind of, it usually takes me about 20 minutes because I do have to measure with the pencil and the ruler. And then the only thing left is to kind of take your eraser and just kind of touch up those corners and make sure that any of those pencil marks that may have be stray kind of in those edges are kind of like, you know, gone. But I don't think I had a whole lot. So, but yeah, you just kind of go over it a little bit in every corner. Just kind of make sure that any of those pencil marks are clean. And now your planner is set up and ready for the week. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed already, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button down at the bottom. I will be posting more content throughout the next couple of weeks, hopefully. If you like this video and there's another type of tutorial planner spread that you'd like to see, leave me a message in the comments and let me know. Thanks so much for joining. Have a great day. Happy planning.